Good morning, Patrick here from Complete Health. I wanted to answer a question that gets asked me on a relatively regular basis, which is why don't we do any treatment when we first see clients? Why as chiropractors don't I do any treatment when I first see a client? So when we have a client come into the clinic, we always do a day one and a day two process. What that basically means is we'll have someone come in and we'll do a full clinical examination, we'll do a full postural analysis, and we'll also do digital x-rays if we find that those are required. But we do not do any treatment or any adjustments with someone on the first visit. And people quite often ask me the question, why? Well, let's look at it in the same perspective of you went into the doctor with a problem with your knee and they turned around and just said, we're going to do surgery. Get down on the table, we'll cut it open and we'll have a look. You would get a little bit concerned. And the same thing is if you took your car into the mechanic looked at the car, knocked it on the hood and said, this is what you need to do. You again would start to become a little bit concerned with why that person isn't actually taking a deeper look. But when it comes to our bodies and our health, we don't necessarily always look at things in the same perspective, that it takes time to evaluate the process. It takes time to evaluate the problem, especially if you're doing something like digital x-ray or postural analysis, where we're going to put lines and markers onto that person and actually physically work out what's going on. That process takes time to evaluate, assess, and see how long it's going to actually take to then resolve and fix that problem. Which then means that when you come to that second day, you can have a much stronger and better understanding of what the process is actually going to look like, how long it's going to take, and what kind of a response that person is likely to have in the beginning. Because this is the thing, especially if you take an x-ray, and by the way, I see this on a semi-regular basis, at least 5 to 6 times a year, where we will have people walk into our clinic with fractures in their spine, either knowingly or unknowingly, they have at some point fractured their spine. Now tell me, if you had a fracture in your spine and someone hadn't imaged and spotted that, and they managed to hurt or injure your body, how upset would you be? Versus someone that's taken the time, who's maybe used up a little bit more of your time, but has been 100% safe and come with an effective and safe route of managing your problems. How much better would that be for you? Because this is the question, is it better to be safe than sorry? Is it better to be safe than sorry? And this is the reason why we always take people through a day one and day two process, and why I don't treat on the first visit. Why? Because I think it's super important to make sure I have the results, the understanding and the knowledge on that person's body before we start taking action, because what we want to make sure is we're 100% going to get that person in the right direction, rather than making any mistakes that could have potentially been avoided. Patrick here from Complete Health. I hope you have an amazing day. Speak to you again very, very soon. Take care for now.